This is the Effing One Podcast, Australia's only Formula One podcast with Adam and Luke.
G'day and welcome to Effing One Podcast, the world's greatest Formula One podcast. This is the penultimate episode of Season 4 of this mildly amusing, hastily thrown together, poorly executed podcast. That's not just us saying that. You ask our mums. They'll be the first to vouch for the fact that they never thought we'd amount to anything. And we proudly can say we haven't let them down. Absolutely.
I don't like proving my mum right.
No. In fact, as the Beanley News, one of the most respected free newspapers that gets thrown over the fence and lands into your pool every Sunday, says of this little podcast, that's Joyce, by the way, Joyce, chief editor of the Beanley News for over 40 years.
Very religious, though.
Very religious. What a bang-up job she does, though. And what, if you go to the religious fates, as we love to go in Beanley, the church fates, what a caramel slice she makes. The best caramel slice in Beanley.
And her Jesus pretzel to die for.
Delicious.
Oh, by the way, most people in Beanley can't read.
Correct. Joyce, and she says of this podcast, and she said it many times in the Beanley News, and I quote, "This little Aussie Battlers award-winning podcast is the perfect balance of poor taste, inappropriate behaviour, and unwanted sexual advances." Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you very much.
She has been on the receiving of a few of those as well, hasn't she? Unwanted sexual advances. But if you are after a podcast that doesn't alienate the little guy, a podcast that lifts up the forgotten, the downtrodden, the dismissed, the overlooked, then you've come to the right place, friends. This is the Aussie Battlers podcast that doesn't care where you're from or what you're wearing. So, do what we do. Take off your pants. Free up the plums. Grab your favourite drink and shut the hell up! Because it's time to crack a window. Here comes the pungent smell of two slightly overweight middle-aged Aussie blokes talking Formula One.
And it's summer.
And it's summertime. It's
It's
sweaty.
very pungent.
Very pungent, very sweaty. Luke,
Thick.
you look a little sweaty, mate.
Yes.
Is that because we've been watching replays of the
Saudi
Grand Prix?
Arabian Grand Prix.
That made me sweaty watching Max Verstappen trying to missile himself into Lewis Hamilton every corner.
Yeah, I got my palms are sweaty.
Mate, there's two things I don't like in the world, Luke. That's socio-economic inequality and the Dutch. Fucking Dutch.
What about the Belgian Dutch?
Oh, they're pretty bad.
Born in Belgium.
The Flemish.
Races under the Dutch flag.
The first to pretend they're not Nazis, but yet fall into line and fight for the Nazis.
They're all for a high five that
Yeah.
just lingers a little bit too long.
Yeah. Oh, we were really resistant. Yeah, we really resisted.
Like Jude and Joyce and
For a minute.
everyone from the Beanley News.
How are you, Luke?
I'm well.
You look good, buddy.
Thank you.
You got your muscle shirt on today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, showing off the twigs.
Is that because you're, well, we should say there is 2 world championships of great note. One being a tied Formula One world championship between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. The other is the Effing One podcast tipping competition, of which you are now outright hot favourite to win the title.
I am. I had a good week.
Is that why you're peacocking?
I am.
Look at those muscles, eh?
I don't have muscles.
How many points are you up now?
Up by 4. I think it's 5.
Yeah. Well, that's because you threw a haymaker in there,
I
didn't you?
did. My extra point haymaker went for glory.
Mm-hmm.
I tipped that, like a couple of guys said there'd be at least 3
Yep.
or 3+ safety cars.
Yes.
Didn't happen. There was one safety car. A few virtual safety cars. Doesn't count.
Nope.
And I think Cliff went for that Max and Lewis would make contact at turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't.
Didn't.
He made contact with Ocon at turn 1,
Yeah.
but they made contact at the back of the track where Lewis drove into the back of a brake testing Max Verstappen.
Yep.
But my tip, I went out on a limb. I thought every driver in the Caviar Cup, or the Billionaire Boys, all 3 of them would finish ahead of their teammate. So Stroll ahead of Vettel, Latifi ahead of Russell, and Mazepin ahead of Schumacher. When Schumacher crashed out, I was like, that's one.
Yep.
That's the tough one.
Here it comes. That's the toughie.
And then the next red flag, Mazepin took care of Russell, meaning Latifi was ahead, 2 down.
Yep.
And then Tsunoda crashing into Vettel, and then Kimi crashing into Vettel. Stroll was ahead of him. I get my 5 extra points.
Outright lead, going to the last round.
I'm not getting cocky.
But let's just say you got the muscle shirt on and you are peacocking.
am.
So you should be, Luke.
I have the muscle shirt on for one reason. It's fucking hot.
Yep. And you're leading by 5 points, Luke. That adds to it.
That's another thing.
What you're telling me is there's a very good chance you're going back to back and it's staying home.
We
The
remain
trophy
undefeated.
is staying home.
I'll have to send myself some merchandise.
FE1 podcast listeners are yet to take out a title. There's some pretty good competition in there, mate.
Please. Stiff
They're
competition.
getting better. I've taken out the first year. You've gone back to back. Mm-hmm. Well,
We've got one more race.
Still got one more race. Let's not get carried away.
Anything could happen. Another tip, I actually tipped Mazepin to beat Schumacher in the race. In just general tipping.
Yep.
It's just an extra one.
Yep.
It was a good week.
It's a good week, and we'll talk more about that later on, but we've got to talk about what's coming up in this podcast, Luke. This little Aussie F1 podcast.
Time for a forward sell.
It's time for a forward sell. We'll have a forward, we'll have a mid, we'll have a post.
At the end, like, that was all right.
Oh, yeah. After we turn the mics off, we'll have a little post wrap-up. Guess who's on this podcast?
I won't broadcast it. Turn it off. And
Yeah.
go, Geez, that was a good. That was good. That's not bad.
What was your favourite bit? Got some bad news tonight, though.
Oh.
We do not have Dan Ricciardo on the podcast. We do not have him on the podcast. This is the only podcast, probably for months, we've not been able to get Daniel Ricciardo from McLaren on the podcast. I don't know. I think because we keep putting him on pause, on hold, and forgetting about him.
He said he was fine with it.
I think
we'd get to him.
I think we might have finally found the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh.
I know, I'm sorry about that. But, we do have on the podcast, Luke, we have...
Daniel Ricciardo?
Nope.
Ah, shit.
Sorry about that.
I wasn't listening.
No, you weren't. That's fine. Whoever does. We have Robert Kubica.
Hey.
Toto Wolff.
Ooh.
Yep. I can't wait to get into Toto because wasn't he fiery in the...
Those headphones have never been the same.
Gosh.
They took a battering.
Saudi Arabia.
What if they should put that on eBay? That would go for a fair bit, and then they could give the money to charity. Broken Bose headphones. I'd put it up if I had a sports bar. That'd be up there, above the bar.
Yep. It was
You want to take your anger out? Here's the Bose headphones.
Brilliant. I can't wait to chat to him. He's always fiery, but he's going to be on the next level tonight. Also, Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion on this little Aussie podcast as well. How about that? Bloody hell.
Sounds good.
Very good. This is a 2-in-1 podcast, of course, tonight. We're wrapping up and we're previewing. We're wrapping up the Saudi Arabia. We're previewing Abu Dhabi, a 2-in-1. 2 races for the price of one. Mm-hmm. And, of course, all thanks to a big bag of dirty oil money. They go straight to Liberty Media. 3 races, 3 countries in the desert, in fuck knows where, for fuck knows why. Do they deserve a Grand Prix, Luke?
No. Who does deserve a Grand Prix?
Does anyone in those countries watch or enjoy Formula One?
Rarely.
Very rarely. But do they get one?
Of course they do.
Of course they do. Why not? Cash, talks.
Blood money.
Blood money. And this, of course, is proudly brought to you by the FE1 charity Handjobs for the Homeless. Because why should the homeless miss out on getting a wristy from their favourite driver or team principal?
Or F1 podcast host.
Or host. Yes.
Or Pete.
Pete, he's
He's got 2 hands.
very good.
And he works out a lot.
Loves it.
Those guns will tap you out in about 5 pumps.
They're not from doing curls,
No,
that's for sure.
That man can, deadlift a fair bit of weight. Imagine the grip. He won't use his wrist straps either.
No.
He will fucking freehand that shit.
Yep, he can deadlift a lot of cock. This podcast, of course, comes with a guarantee, Luke. A puke-free guarantee. If you are a little queasy, if you get car sick, if you are inclined to not feel so great, if you see or hear something a bit off, then we will personally, if you hear something that's gut-wrenching, that's going to make you vomit, we promise you that we will come to your residence, wherever you may be around the world, with the official FE1 podcast cleanup kit.
Puke rag.
The puke rag.
Puke bucket.
Puke bucket. The spray. And we will clean up that vomit if you hear anything that's
We will.
tasteless.
Yeah.
But there is a caveat, of course. You cannot be deep-throating a bloke at the time.
No.
It has to be because of...
Or a series of blokes or horses.
Or horses. It has to be because we've said something inappropriate.
You know what I don't think people understand Pete's technique when he does the homeless. So he can actually pick them up by the shaft. So they have to be rigid, like firm, and then they sort of plank, and he can lift them off the ground with their penis.
Yes.
And then what he does is, as he's got them like horizontally in the air,
Yeah.
he just jerks them off, and they stay in the air.
Yeah.
That's how strong Pete is. With one hand on each member, he's doing two at a time.
Yep.
He can choke them off in midair and get the job done
Get the job.
while they are suspended. It's like some David Copperfield shit,
Yeah.
but with more jizz.
With a lot more jizz. It's like one of those shaker weights. You know, those exercise,
Yeah,
those shakers?
yeah. Why do you think Pete's so big on those back and shoulders?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Dedicated in his room on the shaker weights, getting ready for a big cock.
Yeah.
Good on him. Okay, let's talk about the race real quick. Can we just have a bit of a chat about the race previous, Saudi Arabia? What a fucking schmozzle. I mean, it was fantastic, but Max Verstappen, I'm sorry, what is the deal?
He's
He's an asshole.
Well, we knew, and we've said this, he wouldn't win a championship if he doesn't change his petulant ways.
Yeah.
And when the pressure has come, and he knows that he can force things
Yep.
to the point where Lewis always has to back out,
Yes.
and he has to.
It's getting
If
to the
it's
point
made
where it's embarrassing now, Luke, though, because he's clearly driving Hamilton into walls, trying to ram into him, brake testing him. It's just constant now.
Is it bringing the sport into disrepute?
It does cheapen it. Like, you'd want to see a fair fight. But this just seems like you've got one dude that's trying to win and the other one that's doing everything he possibly can to run into the other guy, not caring if he also gets crashed out, because he will win if that's the case.
Two things that I did like of Max Verstappen during the weekend of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. His qualifying lap,
Yes.
he didn't get pole. For 26 corners, he was completely on the edge. Perfect driving.
Yes.
I was secretly going Bennett the whole way round, but he
Yep.
didn't. And then on the last corner,
Yes.
locked up, went wide, still stuck it round, and then hit the wall, broke his rear. Oh, I was a little bit joyful.
It's weird that we get so excited when we see Max crash, and it's getting to the point where I get more and more excited, and I'm barracking against him. Like, I don't necessarily like Lewis Hamilton. I don't think it's good for the sport that he wins another world championship, but I want anyone to win instead of Max. He is so dirty.
Yeah.
He's corrupting this, not corrupting the sport, but we're chatting off air a minute ago. Who was the dirtiest Formula One driver that you can think of ever in all time? Is anyone as bad as Max?
See, I don't think anyone was as blatantly bad as Max. I think you've got Michael Schumacher.
Yes.
Had
flaws.
Had been excluded. Michael didn't see what he was doing as wrong.
True.
He was just heat of the moment, going to try something.
Yep.
Ayrton Senna, very upfront.
Yes.
Yep, I did it. This is why I did it. I won the championship. Like Prost, Senna, Suzuka just took him straight off.
Yep.
End of the race, championship won, done. Alain Prost, underhanded, behind the scenes, dirty driver.
Yeah.
So there's been dirty drivers.
There's a precedent there, but they're very different, aren't they? But compared to Prost...
Is it a Pasta Maldonado kind of thing?
No, see, Pastor Maldonado was just fast and erratic. I don't think he had the intention behind him, did
Yeah,
he? He wasn't calculating.
As Casey Stoner said, ambition outweighed his talent.
Yeah. I don't think he was deliberately going out to cause...
No.
He was just
bonsaiing every corner.
That was his personality.
Every corner was a lick it and send it.
Yes.
Even if there was no one around
He
him.
was just so ambitious.
He's just fingers crossed.
But
he
Matt-
actually drove with fingers crossed. Just like,
Yeah,
I hope I make this corner.
Which is why he crashed, because it's hard to grip the steering wheel
Yeah.
when you got your fingers
Well,
crossed.
look at Robert Kubica. He did it with one
Very
hand.
good point.
Yeah.
Still better than Mazepan
Yes.
with one arm.
But yeah,
no one is as bad as Max, is what we're trying to say.
it was
in fact,
a terrible display of someone who's going for a world championship.
Yeah.
When you're trying to win it in a clean way, in an efficient way, and you're just
yeah.
you are pushing. You've pushing the envelope. You've broken the envelope. You've torn it
Yeah.
into shreds, and you're just trying to because you don't care. You're
No.
just trying to win at all costs.
Yeah, and that's
And
not
it's
good.
desperate. No one likes desperate. You ever see a man at a bar and he's just trying to hook up with any woman? Like, oh, you're desperate. Too much cologne, too much fucking hair gel.
Yes.
You've got the open. You fucking reek
You
of desperation.
reek of it, mate.
You see a woman. She's in her mid-40s. She's trying to find a husband.
Yes.
She's off her fucking face, got a dart sticking out the side of her
Yeah,
mouth.
the eggs are drying up.
That's it. And she's desperate. It's
Just
disgusting.
anyone will do.
No one likes
No
desperate.
one likes it. It's
And
not
now
pick.
there's a somewhat of an underdog because Lewis has had to come back to win the last few races.
Yeah,
and he's
everyone
had
is
to be
barracking
flawless.
for Lewis now because he's not only racing against a fast driver, but he's just trying not to get crashed into.
Yeah.
He's having to race two races, fast and avoiding Max, where Max is just looking to bonsai him.
And he's fighting a world championship against the bloke who's trying to take him out. And it's very difficult. Like, at many points in that race, he could have just gone, no, I'm going to stick it around you.
Yep.
And that would have been the end of his race.
Yep.
That front wing, I don't know how it held on.
Oh,
the
boy.
contact with Ocon, and then the contact with Max. I don't know what bonding they have on that carbon fibre, but they need to make more of it.
Yep.
Lewis, the only thing I fault Lewis on is the
Leaving the window open.
the second restart where Max was third, Ocon, Hamilton first and second,
Yep.
and he let the door open.
Yeah.
He was focused on Ocon for whatever fucking reason.
Almost lost his wing with Ocon.
Hit Ocon. All you need to do is block
Yes.
Max off from coming underneath you, and then you'll get Ocon eventually.
Yes.
Which he did anyway. But you didn't need to make that contact. You could have been home and hose. There's no issue. There's no drama. But you let him get past you. You
Yep.
dropped the ball. Yeah. You look how much criticism he gave Bottas.
Yep.
Was it Russia or Mexico? Might have been Mexico.
Might be Mexico.
Might have been Russia. I don't know. But Bottas left the door open. When they had a front row lockout,
Yep.
he left the door open. Max
Yep.
went around the outside. I think it was Mexico. He's gone around the outside and he's taken off.
Yep.
And he's like, how can you leave that door open? Like, dude, you just fucking did that yourself.
Yep. Yep.
You're fighting this bloke for the world championship,
Yep.
and you left it open. Who would have known if he'd blocked it off if Max would have just driven in the back of him? But they come in to Abu Dhabi,
I'm nervous.
sibling of Terence Trent Derby,
Yes. Yes. The younger brother.
younger brother.
Younger brother.
He's
the
changed his
unwanted.
name too.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's changed it to, but he's changed it.
Cedric Derby.
I don't know what it is. But yeah, they've speaking of changes, they've changed the track at Abu Dhabi.
They have.
They've changed a few corners. They've made it a little bit quicker, a little bit more flowy, less dinky 90-degree corners, which probably helps Mercedes.
Yep.
Doesn't really help the Red Bull Racing, who are very good at the tight, twisty
Yes.
corners and
Yep.
90-degree off-camber corners. So they've made some changes. And it looks like a better track.
Yeah,
It
that's
looks
good.
less dinky.
Yeah.
And because I mentioned Terence Trent Derby, I'll
Yes.
just have a quick quote
From Terence?
for Terence Trent
Oh,
Derby.
good. How
Slow-
is he?
He's all right.
He's good. Yeah.
Slowly but surely, your appetite is more than I knew. Sweetly, softly, I'm falling in love with you. That's our moment of trend. Has
Sign my
nothing to
name.
do with F1.
Sign my name across my heart. I just want you to be my baby.
That's it.
Great stuff. What a great musician.
From the song Wishing Well. So his name now is Sanada
Oh, it's close.
Maitreya.
It's not Cedric, it's Sonata. There you go.
Sananda.
Not only is this track changing, but next year this podcast, F1 podcast name will be changing. If in fact if in fact Max does win this year, next year this podcast will be called We Hate Max Verstappen. So we can't wait for you to join the We Hate Max Verstappen podcast next year, because it's going to be a ripper.
Yep, it'll be going alongside our Penis Papules
Penis Papule
podcast.
We're going to have 2 podcasts, aren't we, Luke?
And we're going to have another one. There's 4 podcasts.
Oh, there's 4.
Yes, we have a busy year next year.
Well, that's because we've got sponsors next year, Luke.
Yes, we do. It's all Penis Papule related.
You'd be surprised how the advertisers jump on board for penile papule cream when they hear this podcast.
Yeah.
Suddenly we're now infiltrated by offers of sponsorship from penile papule creams. It's brilliant.
Yep, the Penile Papule podcast. We'll also have the Bible Bashing podcast, where we just read a bit of the Bible and then tear shreds through it.
Yep,
we mentioned it a little bit on the last podcast.
That's being sponsored by the atheist community.
Yes, and the next one is the Hilarious Hitler, the podcast.
Just
funny moments of Adolf Hitler that most people don't know about.
That's being sponsored by the Republican Party, which I think is fantastic. They're very, very fond of a good Nazi.
And the local Jewish deli, like, fuck him.
Great sandwiches.
Yeah, great sense of humour as well.
And a deep hatred of Hitler.
Yeah.
We need to hand out some awards, Luke.
We've got a lot of shit to talk about.
There's been
We've gone well off script.
This has been a weird podcast. Should we do a
I
mid-sell?
was about to say.
What's been your highlight so far, Luke?
There's been so
There's so many. It's always Nazis always turn up, don't they, somewhere?
I think every podcast we should mention Nazis.
At least once.
Yeah, and they're wrong.
Yeah.
I think, we can all get along. It's all fine to have different races.
Yep.
Some of the most beautiful people in the world are from mixed race.
Yes.
So let's just keep them.
Let's just get along.
Don't fuck about. We're all the same. We're just a different colour.
Correct. Let's get into some awards.
We're an inclusive podcast.
Very much so, Luke. We'll accept anyone. Here is the first award for the Saudi Arabia GP. Pete, by the way, whittling like a madman on these awards. Look at these things. They're beautiful. Hand-whittled by producer
when you
Pete.
got back-to-back Grand Prix, he's got a busy week.
He's a busy man. Not only is he on his shake weights, getting ready for a good masturbation on the F1
for
podcast.
our homeless.
For our charity, Hand Jobs for the Homeless. Peter is
If those of you are at home stroking it by yourself, you're fucking selfish.
Yeah.
Think about the homeless. Go down and give them some hand relief.
Others that can't help themselves. Here's the first award. It is the Green Award for lowering the carbon footprint. Luke, who won that award in the Saudi Arabia GP?
The Green Award goes to, I couldn't decide. There was Haas, because both Schumacher and Mazepin were out quite early on. But Sergio Perez not only took himself out by crashing into Charles Leclerc, not giving Leclerc any room whatsoever, expecting Leclerc to just disappear into thin air. Not only did that take him out, but it also caused the accident between George Russell and Nikita Mazepin. So he took out 3 cars with his own move. So that is also saving a lot of fuel.
Yep.
So Haas and Perez will have to share this week's Green Award.
Well done. Well done. The next award is the UG E-Day Award. Here it is for dangerous driving.
Listen, Mick, I know you don't want Hamilton to win, but you don't have to crash so hard to cause a red flag to give Max a free pit stop. It's okay. Mazepin fixed that. So we're giving it to Mick.
Mick Schumacher.
Crashed backwards in there, thinking this will bring out a safety car, but lo and behold, when he got out of the car, he went and kicked. Well, you didn't see it on TV.
No, you didn't.
But what I saw, with my expert eyes and analysis...
And, well, you got people on the ground, Luke. You know people.
I knew some of the stewards.
You do know them.
I said, what happened? He just kicked it, and he cut a hole into the side of the barrier. That's what caused the red flag. They needed to replace it, all because of Mick Schumacher. He's like a little James Bond. He clicked his heels, then a little blade came out, and you just see him kicking a safer barrier. How convenient. Doesn't want his daddy to lose.
That is a conspiracy theory. Yeah, Mick trying to stop Hamilton from beating his dad's record.
He's going to do it this week as well.
That is a hot tip. Are you putting that in your special tip?
I might. Mick to bring out a red flag.
Yeah, I like that. If that happens again, you double points for your tipping. Not that you need it. You got it wrapped up. The next award is the Lick It and Send It Award. Luke, who did the best overtaking manoeuvre?
Oh, Lick It and Send It. We're giving it to Bottas.
Yes.
The last lap against Ocon.
Wasn't
Getting him
that-
on the line. As much as not, it's still an overtaking manoeuvre. It's on the straight.
Yeah.
It's not really braking or anything, but he lined him up and got it done just before the line. Gets third. Well done, Bottas. Timed it well.
And such an un-Bottas thing to do as well.
I know,
Overtake
trying.
someone. Incredible. And he did it on the right and pipped it right at the end. Incredible. The Making Formula One Great F1 Podcast Award, Luke. Who made Formula One great out there?
We're giving it to an Australian. And no, I'm not talking about Piastri.
Oh,
I'm not talking about...
Can we talk about him later?
Yes, we will.
All right.
Yeah. Our piece with Piastri. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast.
Surely.
Surely we can get someone who's Australian that's in Formula
I
1.
like that name. Our piece with Piastri. Our little segment with Piastri. Oh, that's very good.
We'll get on to him. It's not Daniel Ricciardo. It's Michael Massey,
Michael.
the FIA
Yeah.
chief director. He's cool, calm, well-spoken. And the BS he puts up with on the race
Yeah.
as race director, he's not a steward, so he doesn't penalise people.
No.
He just will refer incidents
Yep.
to the stewards, and he'll get every communication head from every fucking team going, whinging and complaining, going, Michael, do you see this? Michael, what about this? And Red Bull and Mercedes just fucking whinge.
Yeah.
And he listens to it.
Yeah.
I would just mute them.
Yep.
Don't want to hear it, fellas.
No.
Deal with yourself. Write an email.
Yep.
Send it to care of Michael Massey, don'tgiveafuck.com.
Yep.
But Michael Massey, his little bartering, the way he talks to them, the way he puts up with their shit, you
Yeah.
make F1 great again.
Because he's copped a bit of criticism, but he doesn't deserve it. 'Cause
Charlie
he's-
Whiting would have done the exact same thing.
What else can you do in that situation, Luke? Bugger all.
Yeah.
He's doing a bang-up job, and he's a good old Aussie bloke. Leave him alone. The next award is the Speckled Jim Award, Luke, where you're handing out 1, 2, 3s for the best drivers out there.
The Speckled Jim medal, which is the top voted driver at the end of the year, gets to wear the honoured Speckled Jim medal.
Yeah, which
Daniel
is
Ricciardo won it last year.
Fashioned in the perfect phallic producer Pete
Yes.
Crouchel region.
Yes.
Yep. Just a bit of clay on the old Todger.
Very small.
Very small. You think that it's a ratio that's under 3-1.
You think of micro penis and then halve it. That's what you think.
You look at the trophy when you win it and you go, that's not a real penis. Or it's a penis from an elf. Or some kind of...
He's hung like a field mouse.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So the 3 votes to Esteban Ocon,
Oh, brilliant.
because he tried. He tried really hard.
Yeah.
2 votes to Daniel Ricciardo.
Yes.
Did a very good job.
Very good job.
And 1 point to Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
Fantastic job.
Well done. No, yeah, yes, mate. Trying to keep away from Max. You deserve at least a point, wouldn't you? Trying to keep away. And what about, could have been 3 points for Lewis's front wing.
That stayed on.
Wow.
Stuck together.
Incredible. The next award up today is the Caviar Cup.
Got a lot of awards.
We've got a lot of awards. This is where
Half the podcast is awards.
pretty much. Yep, Caviar Cup. We're pitting the billionaire sons, the billionaires that have bought teams for their sons, and they're up against their teammates. So out of who we got? Stroll, Mazepin, and
Laquifi.
Laqueef. Who won? Who's
So
winning
they
that?
all won.
They all won.
That's how I got my 5 extra points.
Of course.
They all finished ahead of their teammate.
Yep.
Mazepin didn't finish, but he was ahead of Schumacher.
Yep.
And it was a great day for me.
Very good day.
So 1 point each to Stroll, Mazepin, and Latifi.
Well done. And of course, the newest award that we love. We love this. We got the sound effect?
No, we can do it
That's
ourselves.
right. It's called the Your Shit. Your Shit. Who wins your shit?
It came with a question mark.
That's the
Your shit.
That was the translation of that.
Oh.
Who wins the Your Shit?
Your
award?
shit. Goes to Mick Schumacher for just being So it's just back and forth between the two Haas drivers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're shit, Mick.
You're shit.
Congratulations. And we've got the other one, the Having a Crack
Oh, they're having a crack
Award.
Crack award.
Look at a
Not
little
bad.
baggie of Narang's finest crack. Mm-hmm. And that will go to Max Verstappen.
Yes.
For sure, he had a fucking crack.
Didn't he have a crack? Every time he could smell or see Hamilton, he had a crack at him.
Yeah.
Tell you who else is having a crack, Luke. We just should mention this before we go any further. Oscar Piastri, we've mentioned it earlier, wrapped up
Today.
the Formula 2 World Championship. You little Aussie fucking legend. Oscar Piastri has done what no other
3 years
racing
of
car
championships.
driver. No one has ever done it before. People think that the fact that Charles Leclerc and George Russell have won F3, F2, and gone into Formula 1. 2 in a row is a big deal. He's won 3 in a row. No one has ever achieved that feat.
Brilliant.
Formula Renault, Formula 3, Formula 2.
Formula 2.
And what is the reward for being the best young talent ever in Formula 1, having won 3 successive championships? What's his reward, Luke?
You get to sit on the bench.
You get to not go to Formula 1.
Yeah.
What
Congratulations.
a great idea. That's a great way to reward a talented young driver. Let's put in a guy from China because he's now 3rd in Formula 2 after spending 20 years in Formula 2 trying to win it.
And a quote from Piastri says, I hope next year I can be the champion on sitting on the couch. So I hope next year I can be the champion of sitting on the couch.
I think this undermines the young driver policy and avenue that leads into Formula 1.
Well, who do you kick out of Alpine? You got Ocon, who's a race winner this year, and he did very well last weekend. You got Fernando Alonso, who's driving very well all year. You can't just knock someone out. But you got to put him somewhere else.
There has to be an avenue where if you win Formula 2, there is a spot ready for you.
They do that in IndyCar. It's the road to Indy. If you win the championship, they will give you...
It's like English Premier League. Your top 3 in Premier League number 2, you get promoted.
Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of system that is guaranteed a promotion into Formula 1. Otherwise, you get some years where 4 drivers from Formula 2 will go into Formula 1. Alexander Albon, for example.
He's coming back.
And he's coming back. What did he do in Formula 2? Third place.
And what has he done
He's
throughout
got a
the
second
year?
chance.
He's been driving DTM.
That there is a perfect example who should not be informed. Alexander Albon has had his shot. He didn't do very well in the lower grades of the series. You shouldn't have 2 shots at Formula 1. You've had your crack, mate. You had 2 cracks, Red Bull and
What I don't understand
AlphaTauri.
is Red Bull, they've clearly invested a lot of money into to get him into Formula 1 through the junior categories, but like after what happened at Red Bull and they don't give him a job at AlphaTauri, why keep him? Why put him back in there?
Why promote a definite loser, a guy that's not going to be fast enough?
Why do they keep going back to has-beens? They did it with Hartley, they did it with Kvyat, now they're doing it with Albon.
I think this is the problem with the young driver programs where you're associated with a team. Because this can happen with Alpine. You might have 2 drivers that are very good, doing quite well, but there's no avenue for that young driver associated with that team.
Unless, you're Guan Yu Zhou and he's associated with Alpine. He's part of the Alpine Driver Academy and he gets a drive next year with
Correct.
Alpha, isn't it?
Yes. If you win F2, you are guaranteed a Formula 1 spot. Let's make that a thing.
It should be a thing.
It should be a top 2. At least a minimum top 2 drivers from F2 get automatically promoted.
Then you have to get rid of 2.
I can think of 10. Can you? You just thought of 10 right now, Luke, that you could demote from Formula 1? Yep. You did.
I did.
Yeah, you did. Anyway, let's not hang up on that. I'm hung up on it. I can't
You're
let it
well
go.
hung up on it.
Thank you. All right.
So the other votes, the other thing that was happening with awards is the awards that everyone talks about online, the F1 awards. Driver of the Day, Max Verstappen. Don't know how the fuck that happened.
How does...
He won Driver of the Day. Maybe everyone in Holland got together and said, listen, we're going to bombard him with bullshit. So they all maybe it was an ironic vote. This guy, we'll give him driver of the day because he's been a dick.
Yeah.
Fastest lap was Lewis Hamilton, 1 minute 30.734. Got him the extra point, which makes them equal on points going to the final race.
Yep.
The only way they can finish on equal points is either they both DNF.
Yes.
One finishes 9th, the other finishes 10th, and the one that finishes 10th does the fastest lap. That's the only possible way that they both finish on the same amount of points after this race. So it's basically whoever wins, wins. Whoever finishes ahead wins. That's what it comes down to. If they both crash out, if Max takes Lewis out, Max wins the championship unless there's the same circumstances as 97, where they completely get rid of Lewis or do a point demotion. I believe they're sort of pushing the point demotion in the race directive at the start of the weekend. They can do it. They haven't done it. They've completely stripped Schumacher of the 97 points, or the 97 year, all the points that he had that year, and took them off him. So let's hope it's just a clean fight.
Yep.
There's no shenanigans. It's just, a good race. Abu Dhabi's not a great place to race, but they've made some changes to it. It looks a little bit more flowing. You can go side by side to a few corners we saw in the F2 race. I hope it's better than what it has been.
Yeah.
And Red Bull Racing did the fast pit stop, 2.2 seconds.
Very nice. While we're speaking of that, let's check in with our man on the ground, Luke, the man who's doing all the testing. The COVID tester for the FIA and very good for the correspondent for FE1 podcast. He loves to chat to us. We love the man, and it is, of course, Robert Kubica. Luke, can we please hit that the jingle?
Of course.
The new Polish national anthem.
Hey in the park, hey in the park, it's hey in the park with Robert Kubica. Robert Kubica. Hey, hey.
Hey, hello, it's me, Robert Kubica. Hello, fellas, nice to see you. Hello, Luke.
Nice to
You
see
look
you.
good. You've been working out at the gymnasium again.
Not at all. Just
No.
wearing smaller shirts.
I heard that you're doing very well in the tipping competition.
How did you
Congratulations.
know?
It is all that we can.
Why haven't you put your tips in?
I too busy COVID
It's
testing.
one hand. You can't do it with the other hand,
It's
can
very,
you?
I can't text. I can't text. I can't do COVID testing and put my tips in.
Use your
Please.
special texting wand.
That's true. Yes, I'm actually thinking of getting one of those, those Hawkins chairs where you sit in the chair and you talk like a robot. I think I'm gonna do this next
You
year.
sound a little bit like a robot.
I do sound a little bit like a Polish robot. Yes, I love it.
There's a big call for Polish robots online.
Very, very, very big call.
It's mainly women.
That's true. Yes, they love it. The
Sex
ladies,
robots.
The ladies love the sex robot, and I love the effing fun podcast. I gotta tell you, I am having so many offer from the beautiful Polish mama, normally 40 to 60 years old, but that's okay. I have a lot of ladies telling me how wonderful I sound on your radio show. This is radio show.
It's kind of a digital platform.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Digital radio.
Digital platform. That's why I say to the ladies, have you seen my digital platform? And they say, yes, I like your digital platform. And they love it. I'm very
Not
popular.
your digit.
Oh, they love my digits. Yes. Oh, my digit is. Have you seen my digit?
So in the off time, you'll be doing a bit of gynecology.
I am thinking of doing a gynecology.
Are you doing an apprenticeship?
course. No, I think it's just more of a hobby. More of a
Watching
hobby.
it on YouTube, learning that way?
Well, it's instinctual, look. Being gynecologist is like being COVID tester. You either have it or you don't have it.
What does cervical cancer taste like?
I think it tastes like Vegemite. Have you tasted I have tasted Vegemite before, and I thought to myself, that tastes like vaginal cancer to me. Yes, yes, indeed. Oh, I tell you, I have been very busy. I just had to test this lady in the burger. Oh my God.
Again, she's back.
Sure. I swear to you, I swear to the God Almighty above us.
Gods or just one?
I don't know. Well, in Poland, we are very religious peoples.
Yes.
We are Roman Catholic. But no way. I mean, it's come like a Russian. It's like Russian Orthodox. Anyway, I don't bore you with religion. I know you're not religious.
No, that's our other
That's
podcast.
okay. Yes, I know. I can't wait to be a guest on the God
Yeah?
podcast. You're doing Goddy.
It's
Yes.
called Bible bashing.
Yes, I look forward to sticking up for the value of my God. I don't want to get religious on you, Luke, but I
Not on this podcast.
I would
you
like-
will have to do it on the bashing.
I would like to baptize you, Luke.
Yeah.
I would like to baptize you and then turn you around and COVID test you in the anus. Okay? Anyway,
Okay.
I was just testing that lady. See that lady over there? Can you see her?
Hey, thanks very much. That was amazing. Thank you. Oh my God.
Was she smoking a cigarette after that?
I think so. She's in a full burqa,
Smoking a dart?
smoking a cigarette with a
It's
German...
probably an herbal cigarette.
Yes,
being in-
with a German accent,
Abu Dhabi.
Luke. German. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Sebastian fucking Vettel.
Does it taste like Sebastian?
It does. It tastes exactly like a German anus that is often putting things inside their anus that should not live there.
Sparkling clean?
Yes, bleached. It
That
ble-
sounds like Sebastian.
Okay. I think he has just had clonic as well.
This weekend could be,
Yes.
completely changed around because
Yes,
you
look.
have to test both championship rivals.
Yes, look.
Is there any chance that any of these guys could test positive and not make the race?
I am not at liberty to say, Luke, but can I also say this?
It's okay, no one listens.
I have really. I have actually done the COVID test on both Hamilton and Max Verstappen. I have tested them both before qualifying. I have just come out of testing, and I tell you, one of them is positive for COVID.
Fuck off.
No, I tell you, no. I tell you the truth.
Who?
I cannot tell you, but let me just say, the one that could be testing positive is kind of a cheater. He is a cheat. I talk to you in code. He's a cheater. He like to ram into other drivers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, Lewis Hamilton did rear end Max Verstappen. Is that the kind of
No, the other one. Okay, but don't tell any because please,
very subtle?
very subtle. But let me just say, I cannot
The
take.
Polish have never been
But I have been
known for their
I
sullenness.
have taken this information to FIA, and they have said, put a lid on it. Stay in your lane. Don't move the apple cart.
Is there any other?
Don't shake the boat. Don't
Poke the bear?
poke the bear.
What if the bear needs to be COVID tested?
Don't
Shit where you eat.
shit where you eat. Do not upset a Dutch pancake.
Ooh,
This is
says it all.
this is an unusual
That's a
one.
bombshell.
Yeah, we don't normally say this one, but it is a thing now. Don't put your finger in the. Don't put your COVID poo-poo finger in the Dutch pancake. So I am just saying to you, Luke. I am saying to you, there should be one guy not racing this weekend. I should probably go because I don't know. You say no one listened to this podcast.
Oh God, no.
You say that, but
Promise.
Can you prove it, please?
Yes, look at the downloads.
Okay, show me.
That's called a donut.
Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. Your secret, my secret, is
it's safe with us.
on Effing Fun Podcast.
It always is.
Fantastic.
Thanks
Luke.
for your time.
Hey, Greg. Oh, there seems to be another Middle Eastern lady in burqa with a German accent.
You go do that.
She needs to be tested.
Good luck.
I'm coming, Sebastian. I come for you.
I'm not Sebastian. I'm definitely a Middle Eastern lady. Please insert your finger into my anus.
Okay, Sebastian. And that was COVID.
That was COVID Kubica.
COVID Kubica on Everyone Podcast. Love that guy. He's full of value, isn't he?
So the tips that happened on the weekend.
Yeah.
Cliff 11, Pat 13, Marcus 11, Jimmy 14, myself 19. So I'm on 293, Jimmy 288, Marcus 269, Pat 284, Cliff 283.
Jeez.
So Jimmy, you're 5 points behind, mate. You're the closest one in striking distance.
Yes.
I think you're the only one.
Interesting.
Good luck.
It's going to be, they're going to have to pull out some big moves to beat you here, Luke.
Yep.
Big moves. It's been super close right up until you throw in a couple of haymakers that paid off.
Yeah.
Call it insight, call it intuition. But you, Luke, are on fire to go back to back. Thank God it's not some of these blow-in listeners that are going to win it. The prize
Blow-ins.
The prize pack stays with us.
Yes, the blow-ins that have been listening to every podcast that we've ever done.
Correct. And now that you are going to win it, we can elaborate on that amazing prize pack, which is also there is a car. You win a brand new car as well.
I'm going to deliberately throw this championship
Yeah.
just to fucking watch you buy a car. And speaking of listeners, and I must admit, I made a brash statement, and I've been called out on it.
Yep.
And I want to apologise
Yes.
to one of our loyal listeners. We only have a handful who are true blue
Yep.
loyal listeners.
Yep.
And we're taking time to appreciate one of our loyal listeners, a man who I had the pleasure of meeting, and his almanac skills definitely put mine to shame. My recollection of events can be skewed, but I can count on Smushy McTransfish to set me straight.
Yep.
Once again, I made a mistake. Adam, I think you should apologise.
Sorry, I
There you
made
go.
a mistake.
You just said sorry. I did stammer when I just said they might be the only person who listens to us consistently. I was talking about the Foley boys.
Oh,
But we know
there's Smush.
Smushy,
El
Cliff.
Smush. Love him.
Cliff, mate. I would like to apologise to Cliff, his
Yep.
family and his friends and his
Yep.
work colleagues.
Correct. Yep.
Sadly, Cliff listens to us, and we are sorry that you do.
Yep.
So a personal apologise.
And we
For
have
anything we say or do on this podcast,
Yep.
send us a message, and Adam will get on his hands and knees and make sure you feel his apologies.
Correct.
So that was Cliff's Corner. Thank you, Cliff. Sorry, Cliff.
Cliff's
Please
Corner.
forgive us, Cliff.
Can we get Cliff
He said he's not going to listen to our penis pustule podcast or penis papule podcast.
Is that right?
Right or die, Cliff?
Seems strange for a man that suffers from such an ailment. Seems weird that you wouldn't, Cliff.
It's
we know
all
that
papule, and it's ribbed for your pleasure.
Cliff is 10% papule. That's why it's so big. It's
Girthy.
it's as wide as it is long. That's what he's known for. But we love him.
There's no embellishment when we talk
We
about that.
will get him on the podcast next year. Next year,
He's part of the We Hate Max Verstappen podcast.
he might be replacing one of our celebrity guests, in inverted commas. Cliffy could be on the We Hate Max Verstappen podcast next year.
We Hate
Lock
Max Verstappen.
that in. And I can't wait. He's going to have a rant. He's going to have a little, he's going to release.
It's probably just about us.
Probably.
And he is, put my hand up. I was wrong. I apologise.
No, and fair.
I
fair
listened
call.
back and went, oh, yeah, that was me.
You're a big man. It's a big man that admits when they're wrong, Luke. Well done to you,
I was
sir.
very, very wrong. And I did say to him, listen, when are we ever accurate in this podcast?
Well, we do claim that, don't we? We never say that we're factual.
Oh, God, no. That's the disclaimer.
Correct.
And he knows that.
Yes.
The Turd Championship, let's rush over that.
Oh yeah, the Turd Championship. We often celebrate, Luke, the best, the finest, the greatest, fastest, but we forget about the useless, the shit, the ordinary. And this is the award that celebrates the crappest drivers in Formula One. Who's winning that?
So, Mazepin, he has an unassailable lead. Me Too Mazepin wins the Turd Championship. He's wrapped it up.
Yep.
Junior Schumacher, he's second. Then we have Nicholas Latifi, also has an unassailable third ahead of Swery Tsunoda.
Yep.
So we're just going to go through quick little teammate battles.
Oh yes.
Signs, he's on -2.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Very
he's
good,
at the
isn't he?
bottom of the Turd Championship. So he's the least shit driver that we have in Formula One.
Yep.
He is, he's 53 points behind his teammate Charles Leclerc, who's on -55. So Charles Leclerc is pretty shit.
Yeah.
Then we go Robert Kubica. He's on -14.
Yep.
He only raced one race, and he's particularly shit. But he only did one, so you can't really give him more than that. Norris is on -16. Daniels had a bad run of not finishing in the top 10 the last few before the last race. So Daniel's on negative 31. So Chuck Norris is the less shit driver. Douche Canoe Lewis Hamilton, his first year in the Turd Championship since its inception, he's on 20, where his teammate, the other Finn Bottas, is on negative 95. So it's clearly that Bottas is the shittest driver.
Yep.
It all checks out. This is all statistics.
It makes sense when you hear it, don't you? When you hear it, you go, yep, that makes sense.
Mad Max, he's on negative 55. Sergio Perez, negative 56. Very close.
Very close.
That could change this weekend. The turd could flip and really tell us who is the shittest driver out of those two. Gasman, well behind his teammate.
Yes.
So Tsunoda is the shittest driver in that pairing.
Yep.
Alonso, he is only 12 points behind Ocon. So Ocon's the shittest driver.
Yep.
Raikkonen shitter than Giovinazzi
Yes, he
by
is.
9 points. It's close.
It's close, but
Close
he's
with those
definitely
two.
shitter.
Really is shit. Then we go into Stroll is a shitter than Vettel
Yes, he is.
by 12 points as well. So Daddy's boy Stroll is ahead of Finger boy Vettel. And then you've got boy George Russell is a good chunk of points behind Latifi. Latifi's the shitter one.
Yes.
And Mazepin is the shittest of all. Congratulations. And the Turd Championship winner is Me Too Mazepin for being outright shit.
And it is a pleasure to send off that beautiful plaque. We've had producer Pete whittle with his anus, doing a big dirty nard on a big bit of oak. It's sprayed, it's pickled, and it's got a gold coating on
He
it.
put one of those, when you push Play-Doh through a mould, Pete actually stuck a star up his coit.
Yep.
And then as he pushed it, it came out a nice little star turd
Perfect.
in a nice little...
Like a churros. No,
He
that's
did a
lovely.
great job.
Beautiful. Well, enjoy that. He'll enjoy that. Mazepin, he'll love that, won't he? Yeah.
Get right into it.
Right into it. Hey, great time for a mid-cell,
Ooh,
Luke.
good choice. Good time.
What a podcast. This little Aussie Ripper podcast, punching way above its weight. If you've just joined us, for some reason, you're joining us halfway through.
How'd you do that?
You missed a whole bunch of good stuff.
Go back.
Go back.
Listen to it again.
Oh, what a pod. This is the world's greatest Formula One podcast.
Yep.
And we're not just saying that. We've got scientific proof. And still to come, yes, we've heard from Robert Kubica. Toto Wolff.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what he's going to say.
He's going to rip in.
Is he going to rip into it? Sebastian Vettel, still coming up with the podcast as well. And it's now time, news from the Formula One Monaco of the Gold Coast. Luke, the proposed 2023 racetrack, sponsored by F1 Podcast, the Nerang GP, the Monaco of the Gold Coast. Any news, any progress on that track?
Yes. What we have done is we have installed, it's actually musical lines.
Oh,
So there's a couple of roads, I think it might be in France or in Japan, where if you drive over it at the speed limit, you'll actually play the national anthem, I think it was of France. So as you go, they're audible lines, and as you go over them at the right speed, you will play the national anthem of France.
how about that?
Which is also the theme song to the Brisbane Lions
Correct.
AFL football team.
It is. It is.
So we've actually got it to the tune of F1 Podcast. So if
Clever.
they're going down the main straight at their speed, at the designated speed at which we guesstimate, we've made audible lines.
Wow. And they will hear, the drivers will hear, and the folks at home will hear the F1 Podcast theme tune.
Yes, the start.
Brilliant. Wow, that is a wonderful idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if we could
A world first.
somehow incorporate other ways to communicate to the drivers through sound.
Well, going into just before the Woolies section,
Yeah.
we've got we've made another audible one,
Yep.
but it'll be into braking. So as they brake, it'll say, get fucked. So into the
Oh,
brake.
I like
so
that.
you go, get fucked.
That's nice. Could we have one that...
And on exit, can't.
Oh, that's great.
Get fucked, can't.
Yeah, nice. And when Max comes into a corner, we fucking hate you. It just...
Because he'll take a different line.
Yeah.
So when you go offline, it goes, you're
You're a
shit.
dirty fucking cheat. You're a fucking cheat.
You're
No, I
a
love
flog. And then there'll be some corners that if they've gone really wide, will they go, is this you, Mazepin?
Oh, nice. That's nice. I wonder if we could have interaction from viewers at home recording their own message to their favourite driver or least favourite driver at a corner of their choice.
And the drivers have to listen to it before the race.
Just a random comment. Oh, this one comes from Derek from Nerang. This is corner 4. Max Verstappen's taking
Derek?
the corner. The Derek. And then Derek says, as Max hits the corner, the hairpin, I fucking hate you. I wish you'd die. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be.
I like that. Great.
So that's what's going to happen.
Great initiative, Luke. The Monaco of the Gold Coast, the Effing One podcast. Nerang GP still looking strong for 2023. Very excited. Time to preview the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Luke, as we are looking at qualifying right now on the big screen. This is tantalising. It's all tied up. Nothing in it. Max has the advantage of having more wins. If they both don't finish, Max will win.
Yep.
Which is why he's the human torpedo at the moment, trying to smash into Lewis. Tell us about the track. Tell us about the circuit. It has changed. We've already touched on that slightly, but tell us more.
It has changed. It's changed in a few corners. There's a few less corners. Last year, there was... How many corners was there last year? There was... It's a great part of the podcast.
This is a good bit.
21 corners last year.
We should really plan.
Now there's only 16.
Okay, that's a big change.
Yeah, so they've smoothed out. There was turn 11, 12, 13, 14 is now just 9.
Yep.
And they've changed the section between... It was kind of like a dinky section. They just kind of smoothed it out and made it a much more better experience when they go under the hotel they've got there. It is the 5.281 kilometre track, 58 laps. The first race was in 2009. Race distance 306.183 kilometres. It doesn't have a lap record because it's new.
Right.
Because it has been reconfigured. It has changed, so there is no lap record. We'll have a lap record during the race. This year's tyres are C3, C4, C5, same as last year. The weather, 18 to 27, 19 to 27, 17 to 26. Last time out, Verstappen, Bottas, Hamilton for qualifying, and the win was Verstappen, Bottas, Hamilton, so it didn't change there. Pole was a 1 minute 35.246. That's a lot going on for Abu Dhabi. Yes, it's...
Times of the race?
Times. We're going to look at, for New Zealand, 2 a.m., Queensland, 11 p.m., Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania, midnight, because you've got daylight savings, West Australia, 9 p.m., Ho Chi Minh City, 8 p.m., Kathmandu at the top of Everest. You're watching this at 6:45 p.m., Finland, 3 p.m., Stockholm, Sweden, 2 p.m., London, Lisbon, Timbuktu, 1 p.m., New York, 8 a.m., West Coast, United States, 5 a.m. Worth getting up for.
And exciting for us, Luke, because that means we can watch at the very reasonable time at 11 p.m.
Not bad.
Which is the best it's been for quite some races. So I'm excited about
the last one was tough, but it certainly kept me up. I knew there'd be a red flag. I didn't know there'd be 2, and that kept me up a little bit longer, but
yeah,
it was worth it.
Yep. But I'm looking forward to being able to get to sleep and get back to work the next day and not feel like a piece of shit. I'm excited. We need to talk to the man that knows how to flex his muscles when it comes to tantrums.
Gym work.
And gym work. His safety COVID workout regime is famous. Can't wait to speak to him. In fact, we've got him on the line right now. It is, of course, team principal for Mercedes-Benz. It is Toto Wolff on the line. Toto, thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on the podcast. We're still not sure why you come and join us, considering we have 7 downloads an episode. But we thank you. Toto, thanks for joining us.
Listen, thank you for having me. My therapist said this was a good way to get my frustrations out and get my anger out.
Yep.
So I don't take it out on other forms of media and it gets out and people hate me and I lose my job.
Yep. It's a huge race, obviously, this weekend, Toto. It's all on the line. It looks like you are favourite for the team championship. You're looking pretty solid there. Happy with that?
Listen, what did I say at the start of the year? We are a better team than Red Bull. We have stronger driver pairing. We've got Lewis and the other guy. We will be unbeatable with our car.
Yep.
It has definitely evolved into a very fast car. Engine is superior.
Yep.
So I don't even know why Red Bull turn up every week. Listen, they're going to lose this weekend. They're going to lose the team championship. And they're going to lose the drivers' championship. And then the great thing that's going to happen is as Christian Horner sits there and he's crying and sobbing, I will be going over and just licking the tears off his face because these tears will sustain me.
Great.
Good hydration.
Great. That's fantastic.
A lot of minerals that you find in the tear duct that you
Yep.
will not find it anywhere else in the body. So I go up to him and say, Christian, I'm sorry that you are shit.
Yep.
You are a bad person.
Yep.
And I will lick his face.
That's fantastic. And from last week, after we mentioned the cage fighting for charity, the Horner v Toto cage fight, we've actually booked that in. So we've got to do that in January, the two of you, but it's going to be in sumo suits. Is that okay? Those big inflatable sumo suits?
I don't care if it's in Zorb balls,
Okay.
sumo suits. I don't really care what kind of medium you want to put me in. You could put Max in there as well with a fucking knife. I'll kill them both.
Yeah, good. We like that. Now, can you just go through some of the Saudi Arabia action that we saw on the screen? We saw you throwing a headset. We saw you very passionate. It was a roller coaster. Can you just go through some of the emotions of that race? You were on a roller coaster.
I think the camera just picked me up at the wrong time. The whole race, I was quite calm, considered, mild-mannered. There was some kind of melting points and hard times where that fucking Max Verstappen would just drive into the back of us and fucking spin us wide. Now, unfortunately, there was a casualty inside the garage when I threw my Bose headphones. People thought it was just a table, but underneath we have one of our midget mechanics. And I knocked him unconscious with my headphones. He's still in critical condition in Saudi Arabia and he won't be able to make it this weekend. So if we win the championship, we want to give it out to little Timmy. A very unfortunate accident, and I'm very sorry that you were in. I think he needs to know he shouldn't be that close in the heat of the race.
Yep.
You can't be that close to me because sometimes I just get a little bit fed up.
God, Jesus Christ.
The way that the Lewis has to avoid constantly the shit that Max Verstappen puts up.
Yep.
I'm tired of it.
Yep.
I'm sick of him almost driving us off into the wall, driving us, making us crash in the back of him, brake testing, all these stupid, idiotic, crazy maneuvers.
When I say the word, what happens to you physically when I say the word Max Verstappen?
Two things happen.
Yep.
One, I get very angry.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm hard as a rock.
Yeah.
That adrenaline gets misplaced somehow,
Yeah.
and it's better than a blue pill.
Yep. And that's when you feel the need to...
I'm hard as a rock right now.
Yeah. Do you need to head to the gym?
No.
No.
I'm going to pretend to be homeless and get some relief.
Okay. Maybe hand jobs for the homeless? Head down to the homeless shelter, knock out some...
Well, not hopefully for me and not for anyone else. I want to get some kind of hand relief.
I think Christian Horner's down there. He's actually volunteering today.
I don't want
down
him touching me. His little tiny baby hands.
Yeah.
He can't put two hands around my penis. It's too thick.
Toto, it's always a
Fuck,
pleasure.
I'd love to come in his face.
Toto Wolff, wow. He doesn't hold back. Does
That's
not.
a strange way to end an interview. I want to come on his face.
I heard that and I thought I'd quickly... I did the wind up with you when you do the hand. Producer Pete was giving me the wind up.
Yeah.
I was like, quick, get out of this. Get out.
Oh, Pete loves a bit of cum on the face.
Oh, doesn't he just?
Any chance he can get that cum on the face in there,
Yep.
he's all for it.
He is. It's a hobby of his. Sure is. He loves it.
Ejaculate moisturizer.
Loves it. While we are talking to some big names, Luke, on this podcast, can't believe we just had Toto Wolff on the podcast. Can you believe that? We have Robert
How
Kubica.
many people, A, get Toto on a podcast, and B, talking about coming on Christian Horner's face?
Correct.
Zero podcasts.
Zero.
Just
Unbelievable.
One little Aussie Battler podcast.
Another guy that we love to chat to is this man, Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion.
Mm-hmm.
On this podcast, very much gone unnoticed the last with the racing side. Not really in the mix in the world championship, but he does love to mix it up, doesn't he?
He sure does.
And he loves chatting to us. Well, you. Let's hear from Sebastian Vettel.
Hey guys! Hi, what's going on? Oh my god. Oh my god, what's going on? Look, hey, look, you look great.
You're
What's going on?
very cheery.
Oh, so cheery. Look, I just came from the homeless shelter, hand jobs to the homeless. Oh my God. What a great...
Give or take.
You guys are just such a great charity. Really great. Super. The things you guys do for the homeless guys, wow.
We're for the people.
I mean, I do the same thing, but not for charity. I basically do this. So when I volunteer down at the shelter for hand jobs to the homeless, and I've got my little sachet of baby oil, and I'm just ready to go to town on the guys.
That's very nice of you. I just want to talk about a couple of... You've had some incidents
Yeah. Dave?
in Saudi... No.
Oh, sorry.
On the racetrack.
Oh, on the racetrack,
Yes,
sure.
we're going to talk about racing.
Oh, racing, please.
We're gonna-
Look. The fuck? I just want to talk. I don't want to talk about my private life, please. Nothing
all.
about the kids.
Why would I do
Nothing about Heidi. Nothing about Dave, Terry, John, Eric, and Don. Okay? Please.
Don.
Don.
Is that the Don?
No. This is a little Filipino Don.
Oh,
little
okay.
Filipino. He's a little
That's
guy.
a strange name.
Oh, no. I do dress him up as...
Oh, okay. Donald Trump.
I dress him up as... He's a little Filipino guy. He's about 5 foot. And I dress him up as Donald Trump. And
5 foot with 1 foot.
Correct. He is hung with like he's got a foot for a cock.
Got a foot long.
Oh my God, he's got a foot long.
You measure with
And,
Subway.
Yeah, I loved. He just pounds away on me. I mean, he has a pound of. Anyway, what was your question again? Sorry, I interrupted you.
You did a little.
Sorry about.
So you had an incident with Sweary Sonoda.
Oh yeah.
He
What
crashed
the
in.
fuck?
And then your best mate, Kimi Räikkönen, thought he'd
Yeah.
have some fun with you
Yeah.
and just crash into the side of you. What did you say to him after the race?
I can't wait to see the end of you, you stupid little Finnish prick.
Did he take that well?
No.
He didn't.
He does the same thing. He always has that. I'm so serious. I don't care. Look.
It would have been a lot of I don't care.
Yeah, I just.
Because you're not fighting for world championships here.
The guy has no personality, look. It's so weird. What is Kimi Räikkönen? Yeah, the Iceman is just code for the fucking boring guy. You know what I mean? It's just,
When has ice ever been in? Well, unless you take ice.
I wish he would. Might be
Imagine
more
that.
interesting.
Maybe an ice championship.
There we go.
We're just the last race of the year.
What a
Everyone's
great
on
idea,
ice.
look. Yeah, we all do some ice. We jump in a sauna, jacuzzi. We have a little daiquiri. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Good idea.
What a wonderful idea. And maybe you could jump into the jacuzzi too.
No, there's too many parasites.
Yeah, I know.
and viruses.
Yeah, and Max
is
Verstappen,
left by you.
parasite.
Oof.
He's a parasite, Max Verstappen. Oh, I fucking hate him. I mean, even I mean,
So what's your take on his standards of driving?
what standards, look? I
You
can't-
did crash into your teammate.
Yeah,
2010
sure.
in Turkey.
Sure. Little Weber. Oh, it's so cute, little monkey Weber. He's so unlucky. Such
Did you
an
say
unlucky...
Monkey Weber?
Yeah, monkey Weber. Such an unlucky driver. But I would never do what Max is doing. That's just below the belt. No way.
You-
No way.
What, you're not below the belt?
I mean, trust me, my handiwork below the belt is, my reputation precedes me, Luke. You
That's
know
kids.
that. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, a little Shumi, little Max, little Alonso. They're so cute.
Little
Oh,
Max, what happened to little Daniel?
did I say Max? I meant little Daniel. Sorry, I'm thinking of Max. I just can't stand the guy.
I understand.
I would love to
How
run
would you
into him.
handle him on the track?
With my left hand, I just would massage the tip. Oh. What?
On the track.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
If
Luke.
you were battling him
I
in cars
do
on
not
the track.
want to talk about my private life. Look, I've talked
know
about
you
this
don't.
before.
I'm trying not to.
God, look, please, let's talk about racing, okay?
How would you
Yeah.
race against Max Verstappen?
Now, I just run into the arsehole. I would just run, brake test him.
No, I'm talking
and
about
then-
racing on track.
It's the same. I got to go, guys. I got Dave. And
You got another COVID test today.
yeah, I got little Don. He's waiting for me. Little Donnie. I'm coming. Donnie, sweetie, Donnie, I'm coming.
Hurry up, man. Come on. Get in here. Fuck
He
me in
has
your
a
ass.
heavy Filipino accent.
It's a
That
American
Donald Trump.
Filipino accent. That was Sebastian Vettel.
Four-time
Interesting.
world champion.
Surprisingly. Four-time world champion. There you go. Wow, what a race, Luke.
You're looking forward to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix?
It's ridiculous.
Before we wrap up,
Yes.
I've warmed myself up to this point. We've got the honourable mentions. The Luke's rant.
Luke's rant. I've been waiting for, and I apologise we didn't feature it earlier. I got a bit excited, but
we're saving the end till the end.
can you really wind it up? Can you really go to town though?
I'll try.
All right, just get angry though. All right,
All
I love
right.
Luke's rant. Do we have a sting? Do we have an intro?
No, we don't have a sting.
Maybe we could think of one.
Of course we could.
All right.
Whether or not we'd execute it,
Yeah.
there's another thing.
Yep. He's handsome. He's bald. He's really, really, really cranky. It's Luke's rant. Perfect.
me go,
That's a perfect sting.
So honourable mentions. We're giving it to the stewards and Michael Massey. Great job. Fantastic job. Ocon drove really well.
Yep.
Fortunate enough with the red flag situation. Same with Daniel Ricciardo. Fortunate with the red flag, but stayed up there, did a decent job, finished high in the points. Giovinazzi got into the points as well. Great job from the pizza delivery guy on his second last race in what could be in Formula One forever. Now on to the dishonourable mentions. Now, I'm going to say I missed one. Last weekend, I was supposed to do one, and I completely forgot. I thought about it, but I didn't actually get to say what I needed to say. So, Daniel Ricciardo,
Yeah.
Qatar Grand Prix. That was a while ago, but I'm going back. I was too calm, so I completely forgot about it. Daniel Ricciardo's Qatar race was scuppered by Terry.
Bloody Terry.
Now, some of the avid listeners of the F1 podcast would know Terry is somewhat of a prankster. Someone who likes to bungle around pit stops,
Yep.
fucking up people's races,
Yep.
not putting tyres on properly, just being an outright knobhead.
Yes.
And he did it with McLaren.
Yeah.
He got in there and he short-filled Daniel Ricciardo. So for the Qatar race, at the start of the race, Daniel had an alarm saying he was low on fuel. At the start of the race, lap 1, he had an alarm go off. And he's dismissed it because he's like, it's the start of the race. There's enough fuel in the car. I'll be fine. No. The car was underfilled.
Oh, my God.
He had to save fuel the
Serious,
entire race.
Serious.
They don't know how it happened. They said that they had underestimated the fuel usage of the Grand Prix, but also they'd underfilled it as well. Mm-hmm. Who's measuring this shit? Who's going, yeah, that's... Do they guesstimate it? Does some bloke go, yeah, that'll do? What are they doing at McLaren? You're trying to fight for third in the Constructors' Championship. You fucked it up and given it to Ferrari. And Daniel had to be 2 seconds a lap slower to save fuel the entire race. I mean, you can handicap and put one, tie one hand behind the back a la Robert Kubica.
Yeah.
But the whole race, fighting with the car, you can't go full power and you can't go balls to the wall. What's the fucking point? Fucking Terry. And now on to more common factors. Max, 9 wins and some terrible decisions on track that the team tried to defend but sadly realised that isn't going to work. The brake test? Yes, it was. Braking later and later and later. After the first red flag, the first restart after that, parking his car mid-corner into turn 2. It wasn't a matter of cutting the corner going, oh, I fucked that up and I'll just cut the corner. Redress? No. Went through over the corner and just parked it, knowing that Lewis was beside him. And he couldn't get around. So he's like, I'm parking until I get my car turned around and then Lewis can go.
Right.
Dirty driving.
Yeah.
Pathetic driving. Desperate driving.
Yes. Yes, Luke.
Max
Unleash. Unleash, Luke.
Schumacher.
Yes.
You are the son of 7-time Formula One world champion. You binned it on your own, away from everyone else. Surely he's not going to win in a Haas, but at least try and finish the fucking race.
Yeah.
Just try. That's all we ask. Sergio Perez. Now, Leclerc can't disappear. He's beside you. You can't just drive as if no one else is there.
No.
What are you, Lance Stroll? Austin Grand Prix? I'll just turn this corner into turn one like there's no one around me. No. He's there. Give him some fucking room.
Yes.
You caused your own demise. You went away with 0 points, except in the third championship, you gained a few. And also, you've caused the accident of 2 other drivers. Perez, you're in a top team. You're acting like a bottom driver.
Yep.
Be better.
Yep.
Hamilton. Now, sure, he drove well. Did a decent job. Didn't see a gap when Max slowed down. There was a gap until he got too close to him, where he was in the realm of he could be brake tested, and he was. But my main gripe with Lewis Hamilton was the second restart. He's sitting second. He's got Ocon on his right. All he has to do is keep cunt face behind him.
Yep.
What did he do? He was completely focused on Esteban Ocon. Not cunt face behind who's trying to fight you for the World Championship.
Yes.
You didn't block him off.
No.
What did you do? Left the door wide open.
The cunt.
Who are you, Bottas? Be better. You want to win an 8th World Championship? Or do you just want to let Max do whatever the fuck he wants? Get your elbows out. Don't be stupid.
Correct.
Now, the whinging online.
Oh, Jesus.
For fuck's sake, every time something happened, everyone is throwing everything out like it's the end of the fucking world. No one gives a fuck. It's a sport.
It is.
But what are you doing? This is unfair. I'll never watch F1 again. Red flag. That's a shit rule. Not fair. Not fair. It's the FIA against a black man. Lights go out. Max drives like a knob. He has to give the place back. Red flag. Bartering. Penalties. Virtual safety car. Another virtual safety car. Debris. Whinge. Give back the place. Whinge. Contact. Whinge. He brake tested. Whinge. Give the place back. Whinge. And when he took it back, that's not fair. Whinge. Max brakes mega late. Cuts corner. Whinge. Fucking hell. Both sides complain the whole fucking race.
Yeah.
As Adam says, sit back, relax.
And shut the hell up!
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I was a bit late on that one.
You were asleep.
Sorry.
For a second.
I didn't see you pointing at me. My bad.
It's okay. You were just taking it in.
This
Close-
is your rant, Luke. This is your rant.
I know. I was going to say it, but I'm like, no, this needs to come from you.
I want to hear it from you, though.
Shut the hell up!
Thank you.
Okay, that's good. No, I like that. That's it. That's my rant.
Wow. That's Luke's rant. What a feature. This needs to sit closer to the top of the podcast, I think, in future, because it is a game changer. It's a podcast listener.
All right, what's going to happen? Who's going to win the championship?
Lewis Hamilton. I hope for dear hell it's Lewis. Not that I like Lewis. Not that I think he deserves
He's
another
the douche
one.
canoe.
He is the douche canoe. And if it wasn't Max he was driving against, I would say whoever's driving against against Lewis, I'd want to win. But because it's Max, because he is a cheat,
Petulant.
because he is a cunt,
Brat.
I would be so upset if Max won. I just want to see... It's not so much that I'm barracking for Lewis, I'm barracking against Max.
Yeah, it's not for, it's completely against.
I want to see clean driving. I would hate for this to be decided because Max deliberately ran off Hamilton and they both went out and it was one on a countback.
What if Perez takes him out?
Or that would be even worse.
If it's team orders, we'll take him out so Max won't ever have... Can they just... Is there some kind of precedent to take out a team from the orders of taking out a competitor's rival?
Yes, look, there's got... Because if you commit a crime in this race, you will have a penalty for the next race.
You know what? I think if anyone commits any grievous penalty against either of the two drivers,
Yep.
they should be sent to Saudi Arabia
Yes.
and with a big sticker on the back that says, I'm gay and I love it.
Yep. I'm gay. I like it in the bum.
And I stole something from the shops.
And you have to walk down the main mosque, the Bakhala Malacham. You've got to walk down into the mosque, parade with that big thing around your neck.
Rainbow flag.
Rainbow flag with on your back. I take it in the ass.
I agree. It needs to be a harsh penalty. Not this
It has to be.
race ban, not this point deduction.
No, that's
No.
not dissuading anyone.
I think there should be a firing squad.
Correct.
F1 for the final race of the year. If it's this tight, there's a firing squad at the end of the Grand Prix.
Yep.
And if anyone's a dick,
Yep.
guess what? We're about to see something live on TV.
Right. Yep. We won't
Is that
reverse. No, I think that's completely fair, Luke. I think you
Is
nailed
that
it.
just?
It's just. It's what should happen. There needs to be more capital punishment involved in Formula One. If you commit a crime, you have the chance of going towards and sitting in front of the stewards and being executed.
How would you execute them?
Slowly, Luke. Depending on who it is. The case, you've got a lawyer. There's someone present. There is a defence.
Priest?
There's a priest for last rites. But there will also be blood.
So it's more of a firing squad and less of a lethal injection?
There's
What
also...
about death by camel?
I think there also can be castration. I think castration can be a punishment.
Well, I think Lewis is going that way with his transition.
Correct. And rather than a 10-second penalty, I'll have my penis cut off, please. I think that was fair. I think you can plead that case when you get up there.
Maybe if there is like a certain transgression, that driver has to stand there while the other drivers kick him in the balls.
I like that. I like that. You're your leg spread,
You can't flinch.
totally naked, and hands on your head, and each driver will come past, stop, pause.
How many kicks will it take before it's numb?
Well, depending on what kind of junk you got downstairs, I suppose.
Oh, they're all going to be high and tight.
Yeah.
None of these are going to have hangers.
No.
Who's in their tidy whitey jockeys?
Very true.
Maybe Alonso might have some big cojones.
I reckon he's got some cojones. Dan Ricciardo down to his knees. He would be out for the count if you just one tap and he's gone.
Jesus. This is the last race of this spec cars before next year's.
Yeah.
And it's also the last race of the 13-inch tyres before we go, or rims, before we go to the 18-inch rims.
Yes.
How do you measure 18 inches, Dan? How do you mention?
Well, how do you measure?
How do you measure?
I don't know. You must just put everything up against your junk. You go, what's
It's like
18
6
inches?
times my junk.
Let's just check.
That's 18 inches.
There we go. It's time for a shawarma and a baklava because I'm hungry. I'm peckish. Your mother, Mrs. Luke, has brought out a beautiful, beautiful spread.
Thank you,
Middle
Mum.
Eastern dishes. And we're going to nibble on this, watch qualifying, and hope to hell that Max does not cheat his way to a win.
Let's hope for a good fight.
Yeah. I'll be back here for the wrap-up, the very last podcast, Season 4 of FE1 Podcast, very shortly.
Enjoy the race.
Good luck.